on this morning, Glenn. Access to autism therapy has been delayed by over a year on average, according to a new nationwide survey. Here to talk about it is Dr. Stephen Marin and Kayla Schmidt. How are you?
We're good.
We're good. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, Stephen, Dr. Megan, I'm sorry. Stephen, what is autism?
Dr. Steve works.
I'm sorry?
Just say Dr. Steve.
Dr. Steve, I'll do that. I almost said Steve Harvey, but it's Dr. Steve. Okay. So what is autism spectrum disorder, or ASD?
Autism spectrum disorder is, as we in pediatrics would call it, a neurodevelopmental disorder, which really means, as author Debbie Reber describes it, people are differently wired, and as a result, it expresses themselves in the way that they can communicate and behave. So autism spectrum disorder is not necessarily itself a disability, but because of the changes in the neurology of a child, they sometimes have challenges to communication, social interaction, and behavior.
Kayla, what are the challenges parents of children with ASD experience with getting their child diagnosed and treated?
I think one of the biggest challenges that parents face is accepting that you need to talk to someone about what's going on with your child, and then knowing who to talk to. I don't think that their parents always know where to go or how to get the process started once they realize that there might be something going on with their child.
That is interesting. Now, Dr. Steve, can you tell us about some of the main highlights or results from this nationwide survey?
Sure. So, because there are great evidence-based therapies based on the principles of applied behavior analysis that can make a significant and positive impact on children's lives, one of the things that's most interesting about the survey is there seems to be a delay between the time parents have concerns about their child and the time that they're actually able to start therapy. And the average in our survey was about 15 months, but for children who have milder symptoms, it can actually go even longer. And this really results in some lost treatment opportunities.
Kelly, it was interesting you talked about parents need to recognize that there's something going on with their child. So what would you recommend to other parents who suspect their child might have ASD?
I think parents need to not be afraid of autism. I think that's pretty common, and it's not scary. And to just talk to your pediatrician and get the test done. It's not a test that's going to hurt your child. It's not blood work or anything like that. It's just one-on-one and center-based, or at home, and it's a painless process. And just call your pediatrician, talk to them about your concerns, and get the process started.
But Dr. Steve, let's switch a little bit. What is applied behavior analysis, or ABA therapy?
Yeah, so applied behavior analysis is an evidence-based form of treatment that is really very individualized to the child. A behavior analyst takes an assessment of a child's strengths and some of their challenges, looks where they are on their developmental path, sets some goals for them to move forward on their developmental path, and then takes those goals, divides them into much smaller pieces, helps the child master each piece, and then helps the child put those pieces together so they can now begin to master more complex tasks.
Now, Michaela, has ABA therapy helped your child?
Definitely. When my oldest son was younger, when we first started ABA therapy around 18 months, they did things that were so simple for everyday life, but so necessary. Like Jacob didn't know his name, and he didn't respond when you called his name. And that plays a really important role, especially when my husband and I would take him out in public. And it's important for his safety to know his name and to know to look at me when I say his name. And then things progressed to, teaching him the difference between a shoe and a sock, or a shoe and a cup, so that he can be more productive and a little bit more helpful to himself. And I can say, Jacob, go get your shoes for me, and he doesn't bring me, a ball. Now he's 6, he's in kindergarten, and we're working on things such as interacting with his peers, sitting down and attending to a task for periods of time. And it really just makes him so much more helpful and better for himself, better for all of us at home, at school, at therapy. He's just all around doing much better.
Well, Dr. Steve, where can our viewers find more information about this survey?
Yeah, they're welcome to go to centriaautism.com. They can get information about autism, about ABA, and some more details on the survey. They're also welcome to call 855-77-AUTISM. And the people that will answer the phone, we call them our navigators, will help them find their way through the system. Whether or not they ever become a client doesn't really matter to us. We really want to get people to access the diagnostic services so they can know what step to take next for their children.
Kayla, how did you go through this, and what would you suggest for other parents?
So our process was pretty simple, actually, and I think it's just really important to just follow your heart. And if you really think that something is wrong, talk to your child's doctor. We saw our child's doctor at 18 months. And she suspected something was off or different, and he had a lot of social delays, so she thought maybe just he needed speech therapy. So we went to speech therapy, and it took about 2 visits with the speech therapist before the speech therapist told us, you should really get him tested. It's going to open up a lot of doors for your child and for your whole family if you get the diagnosis. So, we called a number who gave us another number who gave us another number, and eventually we got a hold of Centria. And between the time that I called Centria and the time that ABA therapy actually started, it was less than 2 months.
Wow, that's amazing. Dr. Steve, Kayla, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend St. Louis.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you so
us.
much.
The greatest thing since sliced bread may have never happened without the greatest